Srimad Bhagavatam 3:30-24. We are reading from the third canto, 30th chapter, and the 24th verse. Yojnanam sastrani navatim navachadvanaha त्रिभिर्मुहुर्तैर्द्वाभ्याम् त्रिभिर्मुहुर्तैर्द्वाभ्यां वा नितः प्राप्नोति यातनाः. Thus, he has to pass 99,000 yojanas within 2 or 3 moments, and then he is at once engaged in the torturous punishment which he is destined to suffer. So, the purport says 1 yojana is calculated to be 8 miles, and he has to pass along a road which is therefore as much as 79200 792,000 miles. So this is given about a Eugen, and then he this is a 8 mile road. So through a 8 miles road, he has to therefore as much. It is almost 792,000 miles. So it's such a long distance. This is the calculation of the road distance is passed over within a few moments only. The subtle body is covered by the constables, so that the living entity can pass such a long distance quickly and at the same time tolerate the suffering. The covering, although material, is of fine elements that material scientists cannot discover what the coverings are made of. So we see people are in this material world. People don't understand. Excuse me. They think that human body, they can just do a lot of discoveries, and based on the similarity of the human beings conduct to the things occurring in nature, so they try to evaluate the and make some new discoveries based on such knowledge. But here it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam that the body is covered, the subtle body is covered with such a material, fine material, that even the material scientists cannot discover what the coverings are made of. So to pass through such a long distance of road within a few moments, and how it is the distance 792,000 miles, it seems wonderful to the modern space travelers, isn't it? To pass through a long distance in the shortest time. Now we know there is a that we are reading everyday news, and the inventions, they just bog you down. Um, when you think of all this, and then what is the need of all this in the material plane? Who is at hurry, and why should you go to such long distances, and for what is the purpose? Is the purpose solved? So such people are making huge discoveries and unnecessarily complicating the life of the present human beings. We have so many people, in the space commercial space programs. They are doing a lot of inventions on, I mean, discoveries, so to cover the longest distance in the shortest time. And yes, I'm speaking of the current news that's been going on about, cutting down the distance of like 10 to 12 kilometers, 10 to 12,000 miles, into just how much there would 10 to 12,000 miles distance take, how much time would it take, even if there is no transit, and if there is a transit, and then it will be lengthened. But they are trying to reduce this distance to almost negligible. So how is that possible? So why are they working so hard? And what about the longer distance from the material plane to the Vaikunth planet? Who will work on that distance? What is the comparison? When ultimately you are supposed, as we know the theory of birth and death and the human life, then when we look at all this scriptural informations and the scriptural texts and the information we get from there, and then this current present day news, then it is very mind boggling. And where is the human race heading to is the question. And should we go or not about it? And we are forced to be a part of all this new discoveries, and then it's a way of life, and that is being impinged on our mind that if what if we are left behind, we have to make use of all these facilities, we have to take down this, and this is the modern accepted way of life. So one has to be very intelligent to understand that what is necessary in life, how much a person who earns, let's say for example a person, a millionaire, how much he earns, but he cannot have even a morsel of food with so much satisfaction as a normal person who might be just having a meager wage. That person, the way he eats food, and this person millionaire, he eats, there's a vast difference. He cannot be satisfied, he doesn't have any satisfaction, he skips meals at many times because he doesn't have time. So then what for he's working so much when the stomach doesn't have that food? Then what is satisfying him so much? So what is the food for the human being? So is that millionaire thing, that pursuit of the millionaire projects, is something that causes the satisfaction to him, but what is filling his belly or his soul? What is getting filled? He is not even working for himself. It is the fact. It might seem so that he is earning and doing a lot of hard work, but that's not the fact. He himself is also, he's not doing it for himself even. So what's the use of all such activities? They have to travel. They have so far traveled at the speed of 18,000 miles per hour. But here we see that a criminal passes 792 miles within a few seconds. Although the process is not spiritual but material. So this is how they are saying. Now here in the puppet of the Srila Prabhupada, he says the criminal passes through 792 miles within few seconds only, and the normal speed that has been uh, achieved is 18,000 miles per hour, and the criminal is in a few seconds. So here in this purport, this such a pursuit is compared to as a very criminal thing. So we can understand what is this speed reduction attempts in this material world. Then 3:30:25 Adipanam Sagatranam Veshtayetvolmu Kadibihi Atmamasadanam Vakwapi Sakruttam Paratopiva. He is placed in the midst of burning pieces of wood, and his limbs are set on fire. In some cases, he is made to eat his own flesh or have it eaten by others. From this very verse through the next three verses, the description of punishment will be narrated. The first description is that the criminal has to eat his own flesh, burning with fire, or allow himself, others like himself who are present there to eat. In the last Great War, people in concentration camps sometimes eat. This is given here, and so there is no wonder that in the Yama Sadhana, the abode of Yamraj, one who has a very enjoyable life, eat others' flesh, has to eat his own flesh. 3:30:26 जीवतश्चान्त्राभ्युत्थारः श्वगृध्रेर्य साधने सर्पवृश्चिकदंशाद्यैर्दशभिश्चात्मवैश्यसम्. His entrails are pulled out by the hounds and vultures of hell, even though he is still alive to see it, and he is subjected to torments by serpents, scorpions, gnats, and other creatures that bite him. 3:30:27 Next, his limbs are lopped off and torn asunder by elephants, and he is hurled down from hilltops and also held captive either in water or in a cave. Yasta mistrandha tamistra Rauravadyashcha yatanaha Brumti Narova Nariva Mitha Sangina Narmita. Men and women whose lives were built upon indulgence in illicit sex are put into many kinds of miserable conditions in the hell known as Tamishra, Andhatamishra, and Raurav. Materialistic life is based on sex life. The existence of all the materialistic people who are undergoing several tribulations in the struggle for existence is based on sex. Therefore, in the Vedic civilization, sex life uh, is allowed only in a restricted way. It's for married couple and not only and only for begetting children. But when sex life is indulged in fast sense gratification illegally and illicitly, both the man and woman await severe punishment in this world or after death. In this world also they are punished by virulent diseases like syphilis and gonorrhea, and in the next life, as we see in the passage of Srimad Bhagavatam, they are put into different kind of hellish conditions to suffer. In Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, illicit sex life is also very much condemned, and it is said that one who produces children by illicit sex life is sent to hell. It is confirmed here in Bhagavatam that such offenders are put into hellish conditions of life in Tamishra and the Tamishra and Rarav. 3:30:29 अत्रैव नरकः स्वर्ग इति माता प्रचक्षते या यातना वै नारक्यस्ता इहाप्युपलक्षिताः. Lord Kapil continued, my dear mother, it is sometimes said that we experience hell or heaven on this planet, for hellish punishments are sometimes visible on this planet also. Sometimes unbelievers do not accept the statements of scripture regarding hell. They disregard such authorized descriptions. Lord Kapil therefore confronts them by saying that these hellish conditions are also visible on this planet. It's not that they are only on the planet where Yamraj lives. On the planet of Yamraj, the sinful man is given this chance to practice living in the hellish conditions in which he'll have to endure in the next life, and then he's given a chance to take birth on another planet to continue his hellish life. For example, if a man is to be punished to remain in hell, then first of all, he practices such habits on the planet of Yamraj, and then is given a particular type of body, that of a hog, so that he can do his sense gratification of enjoying life. And it is stated previously that in any hellish conditions, the conditioned soul thinks he is happy. Otherwise, it would not be possible for him to suffer hellish life. एवं कुटुम्बं बिभ्राण उदरम्बर एव वा विसृज्येहो भयं प्रेत्य भुङ्क्ते तत्फलमिदृशम्. After leaving this body, the man who maintained himself and his family members by sinful activities suffers a hellish life, and his relatives suffer also. The mistake of modern civilization is that man does not believe in the next life, but whether he believes or not, the next life is there, and one has to suffer if one does not lead a responsible life in terms of the injunctions of authoritative scriptures like Vedas and Puranas. Species lower than human beings are not responsible for their actions because they are made of to act in a certain way. But in the developed life of human consciousness, if one is not responsible for his activities, he is sure to get a hellish life as described herein. He goes to the darkest regions of hell after quitting the excuse me, I forgot to read the shloka. 3:31 एक प्रपद्यते ध्वान्तं हित्वेदं सकलैर्वरं कुशलेतरपाथेयो भूतद्रोहेण यद्भृतम्. He goes alone to the darkest regions of hell after quitting his present body, and money he acquired by envying other living activities is the passage money with which he leaves this world. When a man earns money by unfair means and maintains his family and himself with his money, the money is enjoyed by many members of the family, but he alone goes to hell. A person who enjoys life by earning money or by envying others' life and who enjoys with family friends will have to enjoy alone. The resultant sinful actions accrued from such violent and illicit life. For example, if a man secures some money by killing someone, and with that money maintains his family, those who enjoy the black money earned by him are also partially responsible and are sent to hell, and but who is the leader is especially punished. The result of material enjoyment is that one takes with him the sinful reaction only and not the money. The money is earned, the earned is left in the world and takes only the reaction. In this world also, if a person acquires some money by murdering someone, the family is not hanged, although the family members are sinfully contaminated. But the man who commits a murder and maintains his family is himself hanged as a murderer. The direct offender is more responsible for sinful activities than the indirect enjoyer. The direct offender is more responsibility. I repeat, the direct offender is more responsible for sinful activities than the indirect enjoyer. The great learned scholar has truly said, we know that whatever his name is, the Chanakya Pandit, he says whatever one has in his possession had better be spent for the cause of Sat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because one cannot take his possessions with him. They remain here and will be lost. Either we leave the money or the money leaves us, but we'll have to be separated. The best use of money, as long as it is within our possession, is to spend it to acquire Krishna consciousness. We'll read the next shloka 332 tomorrow. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.